Welcome back to the long-awaited continuation of my solo trip in Japan. Seriously though, returning to finish editing this has felt so nostalgic. This trip was probably the most memorable, and despite me power walking 30k steps a day, it's probably also the last time I truly felt relaxed and like I was on vacation. After getting lost in this maze of a train station, I made my way to Nara. I walked probably less than a minute before my first spotting of their famous deer. If you love animals, Nara is definitely a must-see in Japan. It's relatively easy to get to from Kyoto, and all I have to do is buy some deer crackers and hang around. The park itself is really large, which is good to know because it's easy to get caught in the early crowd of aggressive deer. It wasn't until I walked around later that I realized this though, so most of my time was spent rewarding the most hungry of the deer. After my designated deer time, I grabbed some shot glasses for my mom. At some point in my life, I do not remember exactly when, she started collecting them, and it's been a fun way to bring back memories from my many trips. Plus, it makes getting souvenirs for her super easy. This store is known for demonstrating mochi making. Like, if you come at the right time, they actually have that show of the people pounding the mochi as they make it. I did not come at the right time, so they just had them prepared already. But it was so nice to grab a pack for eating later. I was starving by the time I got back to Kyoto, and I went to this udon shop off the recommendation of the hotel staff. This was super lackluster, which is really saying something considering how hungry I was. Probably wouldn't recommend unless you're also very starving and do not want to think about where to go next. Luckily, I made up for it with a sweet trees and matcha. It felt pretty good to get off my feet and really just relax here. The scenery and the vibes were super chill, and it was very aesthetic, as you can see. I found this place off Sunday Love's recommendation, so I won't link her exact video, but I'll link her channel down below if you want to check her out. I have no idea how I found this ramen spot, but it ended up being my favorite ramen of the whole trip. I think this was my first time trying tsukemen and it did not disappoint. And of course, I loved the solo dining experience that just felt so Japan. Very nice for someone just wanting to experience some culture and food on their onsen. So every night at the end of the day, I'd send a bunch of photos and videos to my friends, my partner, and my mom. And then I'd send a long voice note basically describing the whole day. It actually felt really good to connect with everyone because that was really the only time that we were all awake at the same time, considering our time zones. And so it felt awesome to be able to share about the trip and basically get real-time feedback from them and just connect. It really made the solo trip feel less solo in that way.
まもなく1番乗り場に急行奈良行きが参ります。危険ですから黄色い点字ブロックの内側までお下がりください。
These kids are very famous, and I don't want to ruin the peaceful scene with a ton of talking. The only real tip I give is that I do think it's worth coming early here. Yes, if you walk long enough, you'll get away from the crowds if you come at any other time of the day. But I feel like the vibes and the real peacefulness of the scene really suit the morning vibe. So it was really awesome to get there so early and just be there as the sun rose and then just be able to get on with my day after experiencing something so serene and so, yeah, just so nice to see. Very peaceful. This temple was located next to my hotel in Kyoto, and so I walked past it pretty much every day up until this point. I knew I was moving hotels the next day, so I figured this was the day to go check it out, especially because I had some free time. As I watch this back, I truly forgot how a lot of my days were packed with these mini side quests. I booked this Airbnb experience to create a stamp book. This was a super cool and cozy experience run by a father and daughter who had been making kimonos and books for generations.
Change for customers. We believe this is a very important project for creations.
They walked us through the process of making a book from scratch and shared about their family history along the way. At the end of the experience, we walked to a nearby shrine and got our first stamp entry and calligraphy in our books. A lot of shrines have this service where you can get calligraphy and a stamp in your book if you give a small donation. When I go back to Japan, I'd love to bring this book that I made back with me because this was the only entry I actually got. And I'd love to collect them at shrines. They do have some at train stations. They'll have their own special stamp. And I think even some stores and locations will have their own stamp as well. I highly recommend this Airbnb experience. Pro tip is to do it within your first few days of your trip if you can, because then you can use the book throughout the whole trip and then come back home with a fun souvenir. I think even the Airbnb page did say that, but I either couldn't book it the first few days or I just chose to ignore it, but I do think that is good advice. As I edited this part of the vlog, I kept wondering how I fixed this broken door. I do not remember going to the front desk to get a new key or anything. And then as I kept watching, I realized, wait a sec, was I trying the wrong door? And of course I was. So here's me being dumb for a good few minutes, or maybe a minute or two. Being dumb for a minute or two before I realized I'd been trying to break into someone else's room. Okay, time for sound. Now that I'm back in the room. As you saw just now, all the rooms look alike, and I totally forgot what number I was, so I tried it at 2 different doors before I realized I was at the wrong number. Anyway, you walk in, you have this lounge area, I guess, to sit at. I don't know, it's kind of useless because you're staring at a wall, so I guess you're a guest over or something? I don't know. Take your shoes off here. Lights turn on. I think these are like, I don't know, like old school shoes, but they also have regular like slippers if you want those here. I think I'm gonna use these to walk outside later. A mirror. My luggage was delivered and they put in the room for me, so it's like a closet. This is the bathroom. Ooh, they have heated floors. So you can turn on, there's a bath outside that you turn on here. I don't know what this is. Oh, the light. Okay. Okay. And then this is the temperature, I guess. Bathroom. So they lit out the amenities. Here they have like a bath salt. So like at the last place they didn't, because the special wooden tub doesn't take salts and stuff like that very well. But here it looks like they do. Then they have face stuff, sink, and then they have a robe and towels down here. Lots of towels, yeah. Ooh, these are like fluffy towels. Rare for a hotel. Anyway, this is the shower. It's got 2 of the things, so good for everyone. Regular amenities. What is this? Skincare treatment? Okay, that's not usual, but like body soap and skincare treatment. I'll let you know how that goes. Then the door to outside is right here in the shower. So you walk through this pathway and that tub fills up, so you don't have to stand outside or do anything. Like it does it all automatically. So it's an outdoor bath. And if you turn, it's like right there. So I guess don't share this place with people you wouldn't want to see you naked or something. I don't know. I guess there's also shades, I assume, so you could also pull those. Then there's a toilet. I think this one is slightly more advanced. I'm actually realizing now that all the lights, like I haven't seen a light switch. So I think all the lights are automatic. I think this toilet's more advanced because it's heated. It seems to have more options and buttons. And they have a mini hand washing here. Again, no soap over here. The last time I just used the other bathroom for washing my hands, but if I was sharing with some people, I would put an extra bar of soap in there. Then you turn, you go upstairs. Yeah, I haven't seen a single light switch actually. So I guess I just have to keep moving. I don't know. This is the bedroom. So you walk in. It's kind of like cramped in here, but yeah, you walk in. There's 2 seats and this guidebook. I haven't looked at anything here. They also have an air purifier in here, so maybe it's the usual for hotels to have them. The last one also had an air purifier. There's a TV. This one also has like a sink, tea area. I like how they're clear about free drink water, because sometimes it's not clear. There's a shelf. Oh, these open. I didn't realize. So they give you tea bags and tea cups. What are these for? So they give you like an extra tea set. So when I checked in, the lady said they have like special tea things and you make a reservation. So I just made a reservation for tomorrow, so maybe it has to do with that. Okay, this doesn't open. This doesn't open either, it's locked. And here's the fridge. And the fridge has these things in it, which don't look free. And so I'm not gonna open any of them. Also, they're mostly alcohol. And then this is the rest of the room. The beds, again, on that raised platform that I really like with the lights. 2 mattresses, whatever. Looks like there are light switches next to the bed, so that's better. It has these wooden things for over the windows. I don't know if you can actually open. Oh, you can open the windows. Oh, that's cool. You can't really see past it though, but I feel like hotels in the US don't have windows that open. And then you can also close these blinds as well. So that's cool. I could just do that tonight. And then this is also another closet to have some stuff in here. I actually have to go through my stuff tonight because I'm doing the luggage transfer. And I guess traveling from city to city, they don't have same day. So I have to send it tomorrow if I wanted to be at the hotel on Sunday when I check out and check in there. So I have to go through my stuff and like make sure I have enough for tomorrow to send over. So yeah. Oh, there's the phone next to the TV. Yeah, here's a better look at the room. Yeah, I think the only other thing I thought would be annoying about this room is that, you know, there's only so much room in here. Like, it's all the beds and then everything else is downstairs. So it'd be kind of annoying, like, you have to drag all your stuff, like, basically have to do everything in the bathroom. If you're, again, sharing with people you wouldn't normally be naked in front of or something. So, like, and also, yeah, you had to basically do everything down here because there's no room in the bedroom and there's all these stairs. Like, who wants to drag up the suitcases up the stairs? So that's the only downside, I think. But other than that, I think the place is cool. I think breakfast is included in my room. They asked me my choice about breakfast and what time I want to have it at. I'm not sure if they're gonna bring, well, they said it's in the lounge, so I guess I'll go to the lounge eventually and get it. I mean, I told them the time I wanted it at, so I'll go there and get it. Oh, there's shades here. That's cool. Yeah, and then the other cool thing about this room was this door is automatic, so you just click this thing to unlock and lock it, and it does that. I don't know what this does, or this, and that's the temperature. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, breakfast is included. They have like some tea thing that's also included, I guess. And what else is there? Architecture. What else is there about this place? I saw, like, if you saw when I was walking in, like, they have that special street, basically. And, like, right outside the hotel, I should have taken a film of that. I'll do that tomorrow. Right outside the hotel is, like, super city-like street. So they basically, like, built, like, the doors to the hotel. So, like, you walk into the hotel lobby, and then you walk again through these other set of doors into the street that looks like that. So it looks nothing like that on the actual street. Like, this is just a made-up street that they made inside the hotel. So, like, the street that we walked on to get to the store is, like, an interior. That is the hotel interior. But that was really cool. It, like, when I knew what that street looked like because that was in the reviews I saw online. But then I was confused when I was, like, trying to find it because I was like, where's the special street the hotel is on? So I was like, that's crazy. Yeah. And that's the hotel review. I'll let you know if anything else sucks or anything, but this seems pretty nice and a nice place to stay. And it's because I'm not going to any special onsen or something, I'm really glad I was able to get this room with outdoor bath because it's as close as I'm going to get. Okay, that's it for now. And my last rainy day in Kyoto, I really just walked around and checked out some random places on my list. The rain made for a pretty low-key day, and I didn't really feel like packing it with much.
Don't forget what you love the most.
I really enjoyed Kyoto. In hindsight, I would have stayed here longer and experienced more of what it had to offer. For example, I would have taken a side trip to Uchi, which is where a lot of tea farms are, and I would have loved to tour either a matcha farm or just a tea farm in general and get that experience in. So I think next time I come, I will definitely try that.
No one can tell you what they're running from. No one knows anymore. What's it for? What's it for?
It's interesting. I know there's no ideal place to live. Everywhere has its issues, and Japan is not perfect in any way, shape, or form. But it was such a strange feeling being here for so long, but also for so short of a time, if that makes sense. There have been various points in my life where I really planned to move and live here, and not like imagination, maybe I'll do it someday, but I actively worked on figuring out how to do it, what job I would have, planning where I might live, even starting a few applications for either teaching or studying or just finding ways to come here in various shapes or forms. And so being there for the month and just being able to try it out for a little bit, it really reminded me of the various ways your life can diverge, if that makes sense. It reminds me of that Sylvia Plath quote where she contemplates and discusses the different life paths she could take in the metaphor of a fig tree, essentially. And each fig on the tree is a different path, mostly career path, but a different path she could take in her life, and the way it would branch off to a whole different life, and how as she sat there trying to figure out which way she should go, she was not making any decision. And so by not making any decision, some of those paths ended up falling off, like in her metaphor, the figs fall down. And so then they're gone. And I sometimes wonder, I see my own life in that way oftentimes. There are not that many paths I think I could have gone on. In the multiverse of the world, they're infinite, but there are a few major ones that stand out. Being an Olympian versus not being an Olympian. Going to BU versus not going to BU. Different job paths I could have taken versus not taken. And for me, moving to Japan was one of them. It was a huge choice that I kept putting off. And I sometimes think back and think, I wonder what that path, that multiverse Gemma would have been like if she had done it at that moment. Like, would I still in the future be living in Japan, making a life there? Or would I have found something better, moved back home? I don't know, it's interesting. I don't regret any of my choices, I just like to contemplate them. And I don't think this is one of those figs that have dried up just yet. I think this is still a path I could take. And spending this month here was really just figuring out, is this still something I want to do, or is this something young Gemma just dreamed about doing? I think I still would like to live here for some amount of time, but I probably would not move here for the rest of my life, at least not anytime soon. I'm not sure there's a lesson to learn here, just a lot of contemplation and wonder. And maybe that is in and of itself the lesson. Enjoying the journey and the winding path it leads is really all I can try my best to do in life, in the grand scheme of things. Or something like that. I'll leave you all with that. Thanks for watching.